Hey friends, your favorite besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm your host, Willie Will, and this is my co-host.
Jhoany, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
All right, friends, so today we are getting into RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 13, also known as Drag Baby Mamas. And it was the ultimate full circle moment as the queens turned their very own parents into dazzling drag divas. It was heartwarming, it was hilarious, but let's be honest, those dads were super excited for them breastplates. You know, I like to say put some double D's on them. But before we even get into our recap, we have a special guest joining us today, a true friend of the podcast, Kristen, the creator and host of the two-time Black Pod Awards nominated A Little Bit A Lot podcast. So, Kristen, welcome to No Ma'am.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm a big fan of your show. I listen every week because I love hearing your opinions on everything. And I am like a relatively new fan, I would say, to Drag Race. I've watched the last 4 seasons. So I kind of got like my
Ooh,
feet wet a bit.
girl, go back and watch season two. Season two.
That's what you really need to, yes.
Yes, and I've watched like All Stars. I caught up on like the last season of All Stars is my first All Star season. So
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry
really,
for that.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
I'm so
trying to get
sorry,
into
but
it. No, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, and like obviously, I always tell people like even though I'm straight, like there's just something about like the drag culture that I'm obsessed with, and just like I've always been like an LGBTQ ally because my sister, she's queer, and I just really love like the culture and the fact that like I've always felt a little bit like othered because of my bubbly personality. A lot of people growing up would be like, "You're annoying" or "You're an Oreo," and I think that like with like drag culture and just like being around queer people in general, you don't have like any of that judgment at all. So for me, it's a safe space, and I just love that like you guys embrace like us straight girlies as well. So it's like we're locked in.
Yep,
wait, you're straight? Never mind, we gotta block you. Get rid of her. She's not welcome.
she's out the group
No, of
chat.
course.
No, I'm
No,
out. I'm
blocked.
out.
But blocked, deleted. No, I mean, yeah, of course, we welcome anyone and everyone. Like we've always said, we always want to create safe spaces for everyone,
Yes.
regardless of the gender, sexual orientation, race, anything. Like we just want to make everyone feel as included as possible.
Yes, and this is a fantastic show that I think brings everybody together. Every Friday, I go over to my mom's house and I watch with my mom and my sister. And it's like a thing. We order dinner and we just kiki. And it's just a great bonding experience that we've had for the last few seasons.
Oh, I
I
love
love that. Yeah, I wish I could watch Drag Race with my mom, but I know she would not get it. She'd be there judging, like, why is that man in a wig?
No, for real. It took like a little bit, like my mom, like with Corey King, she's like, that's a man. And it's like, I get it. She wants the drag queens that like serve like ultimate films. And I'm like, girl, it's a spectrum. Like, just let them do what they gonna do, girl. But for the
Oh,
most part, she gets it.
oh,
That's
her,
good.
your mom would love Gia Gunn.
See, yeah, I agree.
Very much so. Very much that. Yes.
But it's okay because I do too. I love Gia for the drama, for the drama,
Strictly for the drama.
strictly for the drama.
All right. So, obviously, before we even get into like the full meat and potatoes of the episode, Kristen, really just take the time out to let them know why you even started, the podcast, what your podcast is all about, and where can they find you?
Yes, I basically just started the podcast so I could have, a safe space to yap, share my opinions on like everything, hence a little bit, a lot. I told the story in my first episode. It just comes from like me sometimes winning a little bit, but also sometimes winning a lot. That could be food, that could be like just anything. And I'm like, So it really just depends on my mood that week. Am I going to talk about a little bit or am I going to talk about a lot? You never know. But the subjects cover mental health, pop culture, everything in between. Sometimes I talk about movies with my sister, different guests that I have on, and we just kiki and have a good time. So, Yeah, basically just a safe space primarily for mental health and pop culture. And you
I
can
love that.
find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at a little bit of lot podcast. And I've also dived this year into like more hobbies, cozy coloring that's been going viral on TikTok. So I have an account with TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, Coloring with Kristen as well, trying to just like kind of, in the last year of my 20s, fully just go back to what is little Kristen like? And it's been fun. So you can find me on all those platforms.
Love that. I mean, as the resident 30-something-year-old for the podcast, like, I remember my 20s. It seems so far away,
Because it was
but
far away.
you know what? I really can't stand you. But it does feel, it's, now that it's raining right now, my knees, child, these knees is not what they used
Like,
to be.
No, for real. Just turned 29 in February, and I'm like, it's like as soon as that clock hit, back pain every week. Something new is hurting every week. Like, girl, I can't. Like, life is
All
trying to
the
take me
time.
out.
Yep, take you out. That's what it's doing.
For
All right.
real.
So now, let's officially get into the episode. So, the episode, we start off on the cusp of Lana Del Rey's elimination by Sam Starr. And we also get to see that Sam is a bit down on herself because up until that point, we saw that Sam was on an upward trajectory, right? And so she feels like she let herself down. Do you guys agree? Do you think that that one like time that Sam was in the bottom, that means that she's such a horrible drag queen and she should be that down on herself?
I don't
absolutely not.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Everyone falters. We've seen the best queens fall in the bottom. Especially in that situation when you have such few queens, it's not even like who's the absolute worst. Sometimes like a tiny little mistake will put you in the bottom. Just because at that point the queens are so great, and I feel like that was kind of the scenario with her. It wasn't like that she was absolutely horrible, but just based on the way the cards fell, she ended up in the bottom. I don't think um I don't think she should let herself get down for that. Like it just happens. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I resonate with Sam a lot there because it's giving perfectionist. It's giving like I feel like an absolute failure anytime I flop in the slightest bit. So I get it. And it is giving drama queen, but it's like, what is life if not a little bit of drama? So I do get it. I also think that, the reaction is like understandable, especially with her being like a pageant queen, and like very, very, serious about like the, I guess, like drag at its core. She's talked about like in her confessional. So she's like, I'm not here to play. And I thought it was also funny how it starts off with her being depressed and she's like, girl, I didn't even shave this week. Like I'm down and out.
Right.
So
I love
How?
great.
that.
So see, I would. She made me feel some type of way with that. One, I definitely resonate with. Oh, I didn't. I don't even want to shave today because like I didn't shave today at all. I was like, I'm gonna put
No.
like a chapstick and mascara. That's it. But also when she came out like that, I was like, ooh, Sam. Ooh.
You did say
I
that.
feel a little. I feel a little tickle in my pickle. Like,
Sam is attractive in and out of drag. Like,
yes,
period. Like,
yes,
stunning. Either way.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. What I liked is that when she, even though she was sad, right, and she was so down on herself, she had self awareness, and I love a queen that's self aware. She was like, "Listen, the writing was on the wall. We was gonna be on the bottom. Like we did bad,
yeah.
and so there's really nothing to, like to. I didn't want to be, but we did bad." And she realized that, and I thought that was like really funny because not too many queens can actually say, "You know what, I sucked." So yes, that bottom placement was valid, but at the same time, I'm so sad to be there. And you can see Jules looking at Sam like, girl.
Yeah, no,
Like,
but see, that was kind of nice compared to kind of how she was reacting last week during Untucked when she's like, "Girl, I'm not fit for this. I'm not made for the bottom." So it's kind of nice to see kind of the opposite and her kind of self-reflecting, be like, "Okay, like it is what it is."
yeah,
Instead of being like a baby about it, which I know sometimes the contestants can do.
yeah. All right. And then so the next day, obviously we see that Sam didn't shave. And so being that Sam didn't shave, that was a topic of everyone's discussion. Susie had to point that out, right? Because Sam is normally well put together. And so the fact that we see the stubble, we know that Sam is shaken. But Rue comes in and lets the queens know that the mini challenge is a game she is calling Spill the Tea. which is essentially Rue asking the queens which queen is most likely to blank. Do you remember, like, and this is, I'm aging myself, but do you remember in high school where they had like superlatives and it was like
Yes,
who's most likely to do X, Y, and Z? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I was voted the bitchiest. Well, they couldn't
Mm,
say bitchiest, so they called it sassiest. But bitchiest, basically.
mm.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
I was voted most likely to succeed, and it's very fitting.
They lied.
So, oh my God, you know what, Jhoany? I cannot stand you because I think it's very fitting, most likely to succeed, and most likely to not talk to anyone after high school finishes. That's
Oh,
me.
that's me. That's me, girl. That's
Oh my
me,
god! If I
girl.
could get nominated for that
I,
category, that would be me. I
Right.
ain't
I think I
messing with none of
talked to maybe
y'all.
two of them. I talked to like
I
two of them.
don't talk to
That's
anyone.
it. Oh, never
But
mind. You win that. You both win
yes.
that because I still talk to like two, just two.
But for this game, right, the queens need to guess the answers, and pretty much the queens with the most common answers, they get the points, and at the end, the queen with the most points wins. So the first question was, which queen's personality is most like a box of chocolates? You never know what you're going to get. And so I love the game because I thought it was going to stir up some drama, but there were too many ties for me.
Yeah, I felt like the girls were being too nice. Like, this is one of the many challenges I look forward to because, like you said, it always starts drama. Like people, so one can will always feel some type of way about something, or like true feelings will come out. So it's kind of, I was a little disappointed that it didn't really start any drama. Like the girls didn't really care.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think at this point they're like really just giving besties down, so they
This is
ain't
not
really
RuPaul's
wanna.
best friends race.
Yes, and that's kind of where it's like I want y'all to be BFFs? I don't know, but they were keeping it cute.
You
yes,
know, if Corey, not even Corey, maybe Corey, if Corey and Ariete were still in the competition, they would have created drama with this.
100%.
probably. Well, for this answer, there's a tie between Lexi and Anya. And honestly, I don't know why they said Anya, unless we're seeing something that, like we're not seeing something that the queens are seeing. I thought Lexi should have been the common answer because we never know what Lexi is going to give us on a particular
No.
episode. Is she going to be good Lexi? Is she going to be sad Lexi? Like, we don't know. But Anya, we always know that Anya gonna keep it real, regardless of what it is. We know Anya is gonna feel some type of way and speak her mind. So I
Lexi
didn't
will
really
feel 10
understand that.
different emotions in 10 minutes.
As long
So I
as
feel like,
Susie is still in the competition.
see, I really want to know what we didn't see that like got Susie like so engraved into her mind that like it's like literally her ultimate saboteur. Like I want to know what Susie did
Yeah.
Well, she
that
did kind of
has her
touch
this
on
way.
that this episode, which I thought was interesting, where she said, like later, no, we're jumping a bit, but she was like, Susie kind of represents like everything that I wish I could have been. And I'm
True,
like,
Yeah.
oh,
true.
T, okay, we love you're finally getting to accountability and
Yeah.
really spilling what's going on and why you feel some type of way about Susie so strongly. Because I'm like, girl, like everybody was saying, Susie's not even the front runner at this point anymore. So what is it?
I know. Honestly, and this may just be like me just loving like the producer had of me, but I want them to exploit like Lexi's like drug addiction. And I don't know why.
Girl,
I really, and I say that because I think it would make amazing television. The
I
reason
mean,
why is that I really want to know this story as to why she feels like Susie is her in an alternate universe. Like, I need to know.
um,
I
um,
need to know. I need to know.
I'm so dead because it's like that
yeah,
is
that's not what.
valid. I do get it. I do get it.
Like,
They've only briefly touched on it, and then like
yeah.
that's it.
Yes. Like,
But
no shade. I love when they exploit like trauma.
what? I mean, yes, that's what gives them the Emmys. They might be saving it for like for the end. If she makes it to the top four, little Tic Tac lunches, that's when they usually shed the tears. Either that,
you
or
know,
she's just not gonna give them what they want, and they're never gonna get it because she doesn't want to share that, which could also
right.
be a thing.
Which I'm thinking that may be it, save it for the Tic Tac lunch. I'm going to express all my trauma. But if you saw like the previews for for Friday's episode, it doesn't look like Rue and Michelle are doing the lunches. It looks like Latrice Royale is doing it. So,
Yeah.
mm,
I mean, it's still being done in front of the camera. Rue's gonna watch it. It's a Tic Tac
mm,
lunch.
true. This is true. And all right, so question 2 was which queen is most likely to fake an orgasm in the middle of a crowd? And apparently there's a tie between Jules and Lexi, but Susie votes for herself. And that moan that she did, that was a
Oh,
no ma'am. That was a no
that
ma'am.
was that was a no fucking ma'am.
No,
Yo, I thought she
ma'am.
was having a seizure or something, a stroke. I don't know what the hell that was.
I was
Not a
like, next.
stroke.
Because what?
It was definitely not an orgasm. That's your orgasm, girl. Ooh,
And Susie was really serious too. Like you
I
couldn't tell her.
know.
She really like Susie Toot lives in a world of Susie Toot, and I love it. Like I think it is great. It makes for really amazing television, but Susie's different. Like the people be toot tooting, they be like toot toot. I don't get it. No,
In that moment,
I'm
she
not
was
on the
probably like, guys,
train.
I'm so fun and silly and goofy. Don't you know? And then everybody's like, we
Right,
don't read
and
that.
I
We don't read
I
that.
feel like I got secondhand cringe from her doing that. Like I was just like, I'd be embarrassed.
correct,
Like I was
correct.
embarrassed for her. No shade, but like I was embarrassed for her for doing it.
All right. So the next question is which beast is most likely to co-star in the sequel Godzilla versus the blank? And obviously all the queens they chose Susie Toot. I think that made the most sense because Susie is like a theater queen. To me, it would either would have been Susie Toot or Anya because they both are like theater queens. And so I just think like that would have made more sense in that aspect.
Girl, you know they voted Susie because of the makeup.
That too, you know.
It was not no damn theater. They were not thinking that much into it. They're like, who got the most busted face? Susie.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to be nice. You know, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to like give like a really thorough analysis and like a dissertation as to why they chose Susie Toot for the question. But yes, no
You know,
shade.
Jules can't think that much. She was just
I,
like, who's the ugliest?
I mean, she couldn't
Susie.
spell cerebral, so
Exactly.
obviously,
Oh my God, that
Exactly.
was so funny.
obviously. Um, the next question is: which queen would you most likely to say "Hasta la vista, baby"? And we see that Lexi, soon as Rue can't even get the question out,
I'm ready.
she already had the paddle like I'm ready. And again, we love a self-aware queen. She was like, America already knows who I'm gonna pick, right? Obviously, she Susie Toot. But again, there's a tie between Susie and Anya. But Anya wants to see Jules hasta la vista, and Jules wants to see Anya. And I thought that moment between the two was really funny between them because you could tell that Anya is not really taking it serious. Like she's like, this is the game, and so you want me to go? That's fine. Like it doesn't matter to me. We can laugh at this moment.
I think they both took it like that. They just literally laughed about it. But I feel like at that moment they kind of cemented the features.
True. Yes,
Like the
they
producers were
did.
like, oh, ooh.
They did, or something else. You never know.
Yeah, I was kind of side eyeing that moment too. I'm like, what? Is there something deeper to this moment? Like, what? But I like that they kept it light there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that they kept it light, but I also could just want them to like, you know, fight. I don't know.
You know, honestly, I think it's because it's Anya, right? Like, I just think that that's just part of Anya's like sportsmanship. She's the queen that, yes, she's the front runner. She's not taking herself serious. She does not have a big ego. Yes, she had a few fights in the beginning, that stuff like the confrontations, but still, Anya has been the great sport throughout the whole entire competition.
Most
Yeah.
of the competition.
Oh, when
Well,
was
I
the
mean,
one?
there was those moments with the
The
outfits.
tarp with
Oh, like Tarp
The Tarpgate
and,
and Trimgate.
and
tarp
Trimgate.
Trinity had me being like,
Yeah,
Anya, girl, what is going on
yeah,
with
yeah,
Anya was
yeah.
getting
you?
on my damn. She was living up to her name, and she was getting on my damn nerve. But
Yeah.
I
now
think at that point, oh, yeah.
And I tried not to
now I'm
judge
a
her
full.
too much.
I same ish. Like I was still mad, and I was like, "Ooh, girl, you're not about to do my girl Jules and exit like that." Just because at that point I was kind of rooting for them. Now I definitely want Anya to win, and like we'll forget those moments. We'll erase them from
Right.
history.
I was like, I think it's forgivable because me and my sister were like, well, this is very disappointing in Anya's character, like, though both gates. But we were like, okay, I try to give him grace because like this is a intense competition, and sometimes you don't act like yourself. But that had me side eyeing for real, but she's made up for it.
She has. All right. So now, question 5 is on tour, which queen is most likely to search for the best little bathhouse in Texas? And
Will.
oh my God, it would be me though. Yes.
It
And
would
in
be you.
theory, yes, it would be me. But for the TV show, it was Sam Starr. And unanimously, everyone chose Sam, even Sam. So I was like, damn, Sam, you really that country girl? Okay. I love that.
So, see, so now I know when she comes to New York, if she comes to New York, I won't go to her shows. I will just hit up the bathhouses.
There you go. Now you
Yeah.
know. Speaking of if they come to New York City, the next question is if when visiting New York City, which queen is most likely to search for an after hours bar? And again, unanimously, Lexi Love. And that's true because Lexi Love does give you like drunk auntie vibes.
And I love that. I live for that. Because I feel like I'm the
Yes.
drunk auntie too.
Yeah. Yeah. You are the
Yeah.
drunk auntie. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I'm the bougie aunt. I'm the one that's like, ooh, are we doing this? We're not doing
No,
this.
I totally get that from you.
yeah, but
Like, are we doing that? Like, do we not have silverware? Like, we got to eat with our hands. What?
see, have you? Oh my God, do you know what this just reminded me of? I don't know if you guys have ever seen that clip of Violet Chachki and Jada Essence Hall. They were on the tour together. They were like backstage somewhere. I don't remember what tour it was. I don't remember how long ago this was. Um, but Jada is offering Violet vodka or tequila, and Miss Violet Chachki is there like. Is it like what kind of vodka is it? Like what kind of tequila is it? Like is it Grey Goose? Like like what is it being all bougie? She's like, let me see the bottle. And Jada's just there, like, do you want vodka or tequila? Like that's your option.
Yes.
Like you don't get no Grey Goose here. Like, is it vodka or tequila? Like I would full on be Jada and you would full on be Violet Chachki.
Yes. I have to
Yeah,
know if
like
it's Grey Goose. Like, is this Grey Goose? Like, that's a valid question.
girl,
I
I
need to
drink
know.
moonshine. I drink Mexican moonshine. Like I don't give a fuck what I put in me.
No, I cannot. I'm too old to have a hangover the next day. Like, I need to know.
And we need
Um,
that balance. We need the balance between
yes.
bougie and drunk on energy.
Yes. And it works for us very well.
Yeah.
And then the last question is which queen is you in danger, girl? Which is essentially you're going home next. And this question is worth 5 points. And all of the queens, except for one, chose Jules Sparkles because she only had one win. Do you
I feel like
agree with
that's
that
valid.
answer? I don't
At
think
that
so.
moment, at that moment, yes. Like if again, imagining yourself there and you're like looking at everyone, and you're like, okay, everyone else has at least two wins. She's the one with the least one. I feel like yes, it's kind of a cop out answer, kind of an easy answer, but at that moment, I feel like it made the most sense to the queens.
Yeah, I agree.
I was expecting them to stand on it like they stood on like wanting Susie to go home. So I thought they was gonna choose Susie. I
Um,
was like, you gonna do it. Like before, y'all wanted
well,
to do the cop out answer and say Susie, but now y'all thinking
but
Jules. So
but then I feel like they should have answered fuck, Susie to the other question, which was like, who do you want to see go hasta la vista, whatever the fuck that question was.
that's true too. Yep,
Yeah.
this is true. But in the end, Anya wins the mini challenge and she wins $2,500. And then it's the moment that tugs on everybody's heartstrings.
The
It's the
moment that's gonna get them
parents.
the Emmy nomination.
The moment that it's going to give them the Emmy nomination is going to snatch it from traders, even though I'm not sure because your drag name should be misguided. Probably it's going to be a real close contender. So it's going to be real
Man.
hard. Bob the drag queen. I'm just saying. So
No,
listen,
but there's so many. I mean, yes, but there's also so many more moments in this episode where I'm like, damn, the producers are like producing today. Like
Yep.
they want that fucking Emmy.
this is true. This is true. Between that and between like Rob and Bob going at it at the Traders Roundtable, I don't know. It's gonna be real close. It's like neck and neck
And then the Zac
because
Efron comment of it all.
Listen,
It's like,
all of it,
ugh.
not that memorable. I was like, oh gosh, Bob was coming for everybody in his little short, like 3 episodes that he was there. So I don't know, like Anya she better strike some more drama or something if she wants them to win this
Let's
Emmy.
turn it up. Let's turn it up from here on
No,
out.
if they really want the Emmy, they need to put Lexi and Susie at the bottom together.
Oh my God, yes, that would be great. I'm telling you, we need trauma dumping. We need to dump the trauma. That's what they need. It needs to be catharsis of the trauma. But we see the parents come in. So Sam Star, her mom, Leslie comes. We have Susie Toot's mom, Susan. Anya Nerve's dad, Andre. And to me, as some obviously this one was the most like heartwarming to me because and Jhoany, we've talked about this on a previous episode, making space for queer people of color, where historically in the Latino community, right, the Hispanic community, the African American community, it is really frowned upon to like your gay child, right, or your queer child because they deem it as like not masculine enough. They have to have this image of what it means to be like a man in these communities. And I just thought that that relationship that those two had really just showed like what unconditional love actually is and what it means. And
Mhm.
that they can really just, it doesn't matter who you are, you can still love your child for them. So I thought that was good. And then Anya's
Yeah.
emotion, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, when
Like,
she was, it wasn't like a tear was shedding, like it was like just raw emotion coming out, like raw uncontrollable emotion. So that definitely like, pulled your heartstrings a little bit.
yes.
Yeah, sobbing
Especially
down
when,
to the floor. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
that was no damn acting. That was like just like pure emotion that she just let out in that moment, which was lovely.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we had Jules' dad, Douglas, coming in with, hey,
hey,
Queen.
queen.
See
So good.
that moment was a little bit more kind of like made me almost shed a tear a little bit more just because it's so nice to see her have that kind of relationship with her dad, knowing that that's not a relationship I have with my dad. By no means like are we at each other's throat or is like he necessarily unsupportive, but like I know in terms of like let's say if I put myself in Jewish shoes, can I really see my dad going on the show and being like, "Hey, Queen"? Like no, like
Yeah.
that is just like never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it was. I felt like because I couldn't necessarily see myself having that, that made me a little more sad than like any of the other reactions.
Yeah, no, that's valid, right? You can't be what you can't see. So we all need representation, right? And so that was you could see yourself in that relationship between Jules and her dad, and I thought that was great, right? I just thought it was amazing that he just came in and he was just so excited
He
to be
was.
there for Jules, right? So that's what made it even great. It was like he just came in, hey, Queen. Like the fact that he's like owning this, didn't feel any type of way, like that is just so good to me.
And the
Like
way
I
they
was like,
hugged
yes.
each other and like he like picked Jules up, like that's something that you don't really see, commonly, like we said, with like, pretty much like minorities in that situation, like being able to have that
Mhm.
physical contact too. Like, ugh, it's like
Yeah,
some people don't even want to hug their queer children, period.
Some
And
right.
people don't
that's
talk to them. They believe
yeah,
they just pretend like they don't exist. So yeah, to see that is definitely very heartwarming.
Yeah,
But it
yes.
also kind of makes you sad to know like there really is people out there who just have zero contact with their parents, who haven't talked to them in years just because of who they are. It's not something that they can necessarily change. So it is very sad.
yeah,
But it is also heartwarming to see kind of the other spectrum of it and see these really positive, really great relationships that some people do have with their parents.
yeah. I think it's great. And then last but not least, we had Lexi Love's mom, Tammy, who she came in, and I thought that was a really great relationship as well because you can see that that's still a work in progress, right? I thought obviously when you look at the whole spectrum of all the parents that came in, we came from Sam, who has an amazing relationship with her mom, right? Like she is like the drag mom of all drag moms. And then we get all the way down where we're like trickling little by little. And then we see that Lexi Love's relationship with her mom, like that's still evolving, showing that, yes, you don't have to be 100% all in, but we can show that it's a journey as well, right? And then we see that storyline play out with her mom really getting used to the correct pronouns. And I thought that was a greater conversation to have too. Is like, we're still learning this together, and so I may have a moment where I slip up here and there, but that doesn't mean I love you less. It's just something that I just now need to get used to. And so, but I'm going to make a conscious effort to use the correct pronouns because that's important to you. And I thought that was a really great story to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we also saw a little bit of that with kind of Susie and her mom, because I know they also didn't have the best relationship. So it was definitely very nice to see these different dynamics play out in front of us, and like kind of like you said, the different levels of relationships we have with our parents in the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just thought it was like obviously, doing once Rue tells them that their parents now are going to be put into drag, we see the gamut of emotions. Some of them are like, what? Some of them are super excited, right? Jules' dad is excited because he's like, oh, this ain't my first time at the rodeo.
It's
We've done
definitely
this.
not.
Um, you saw Anya's dad, like, I gotta shave my beard. I think I would be a really pretty bearded queen. And he was devastated about that. Then you saw Sam's mom was like, what you need me to tell? I'm here for you.
It would be very much like, what heels I got to put on, girl? These are too small.
Right. And then you had Susie's mom that was like, my emotions, like my energy level is at zero.
I'm sorry,
And
but that
I was
I
like, is
get it.
Susie's mom like always like this, or is she just nervous? It's so hard to read her.
yeah.
I agree. It definitely was hard to read her, but I like it was kind of pissing me off. Like, girl, do you not want your child to win $200,000? Fucking put those shoes on, put those titties on. Like, let's go. It's $200,000. Like,
But
come
I
on.
also think it was very on brand for the Susie Toot brand that Susie's mom, Susan, was very deadpan.
Was very lazy, Susan.
Right, it was giving that, right? And so you can see the dynamic between those two as to why Susie is so cerebral, right? So it
Yeah.
made sense. So obviously, you as a viewer, we're like, why does your mom come on the show and not have any energy? But if you take it like outside of that, you can see that, oh, wait, this actually makes sense. This is why Susie is the way she is, because look at Susie's mom. Like,
I know I
they're
kind
one
Yeah.
of
of the
felt for
same.
Susie because she was like, "Girl, how am I gonna do this?
Right.
Like you got
Susie
some
was
work to
like,
do, sweetie."
she was like, Susan, Susan, I'm gonna need you to get it together, Susan. like,
I would have been so stressed, like if I was her, like, girl, get it together. Like it's $200,000. At the end of the day, we don't gotta get along. You just gotta help me get this money, and that's it.
yeah, right, yeah. Which is kind of hard though, because you have to find that balance between knowing that this is your parent, like this is your mom or dad, but also realizing that your parents need to know that you're in a competition and they're there to help you win. Like, so
Exactly.
it's that balance because if I was in that competition and my grandma came, like she would do everything in her power to ensure that like I was gonna win. But on the opposite side, she's also like old too. So I have to be like, Audrey, get your life together. Like, you are not gonna fuck this up for me. Like,
Fact.
very much so.
Girl, if I
Um,
go home because of you, we're gonna have some serious issues at home. Like,
Great. I'm gonna never let you live this down. But what I thought was so funny was the fact that the dads were so excited for the fake boobs.
Bouncing
I
the
mean,
breastplates gave me life. I was like, "You guys better work." Like what?
but did we really expect anything more from straight men, though?
Yeah, but they were like bouncing the breastplates like straight men. Like,
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean, they
like,
don't know what it's like to have titties. Like they
like
like,
very
Anya's
much,
dad with the like fist up, like, "Hey, hey."
very much like, hey. And
And
I
then
was just
finding out
like,
that Anya's dad was in jail, I mean prison, was like added
I
five
to
mean,
banks,
more.
5 banks, not 5 years. Yeah, probably
five
five.
banks.
Girl, I wa- that's just greedy. So either one, you're not doing it right the first time, that you need to go back 4 more times. Like what are you robbing? Like tiny little banks that only got like $300 in the vault or what? Like no, go to a big bank and get like your big bang. That's it. Disappear. Why you gotta go back 4 more times? The fuck is you
Well,
doing wrong,
obviously,
girl?
it must not have been that many, like that much. Like the amounts must have been small because when you rob banks, you get a lot of like jail time. Like,
Yeah, I mean clearly it wasn't a lot. He probably got like 200 each time, and at that point, is it even worth it robbing bank, girl?
correct, yes, right. So I don't think he was robbing no Chase or no TD Bank because like 5 times, I don't know, like that's a lot. But all right, I mean, during the rehearsal and the walkthrough, really wasn't that much that was going on. So we can get to the runway because I know we have a lot of thoughts on these looks. And I have a thought, and I pose a question for one of them because to me, I just want you to think back to was the season? Plain Jane season, which was last season, right?
16.
Yes, right, because I was either 15 or 16 because there's so many seasons and they all like muddled together.
Yeah.
Um, think back to that makeover challenge because it is to me it reminds me of a look on this makeover challenge, and they were judged differently.
Oh, you think I remember those looks?
I'm
So
trying
I
to
just want to
think.
yes, right. So I'm a pose the question again, but like think of that, right? So let's get into the runway. So the runway category obviously is drag family resemblance. And so again, right, we got to think of what do they mean by drag family resemblance? Are we talking about looks, like outfits? Are we talking about you need to physically like look like each other? Does the makeup need to be the same? Because every time we get this makeover challenge, they're always judged differently. And so that's another thing that I want to talk about here. But we see that. But can we talk about RuPaul's look? Ru looked amazing.
What
She
was she
did.
wearing? I forgot. There was so much
She had
happening.
like this gold dress that kind of like had like cut. It was like cut at the ends of it, and then these gold boots. I think everybody
Oh,
was just like
yes, 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 yes. Lived, 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 lived.
everybody was like, oh my
I feel
gosh,
like Miss Rue had some looks this season.
she
She
did. She is
She
did. She
stepping it
really
up.
did.
She surely is.
Even a
All
few
right.
different wigs. I'm like, okay, we're changing up the color a bit.
Listen, Raven is
midlife
not playing no
crisis.
games this year.
Okay, I'm
She's
looking
Midlife
at Plain
crisis girl.
Jane's makeover. I remember.
okay. Yes. All right. Keep that thought. All right. So for this makeover challenge, the first ones up are so we have Lexi Love and her mom, Mimi Lovely. What do we think? So obviously, Kristen, you're the guest. So how we judge it is obviously it's if it's over, it's like amazing, right? There's no words, it is over. If it's a yes ma'am, it's a yes ma'am. Like, yes, they did what they need to do, they fit the prompt. Soft ma'am is it's kind of like our new version of like, it's a okay, like it's
Just
in the
barely passed.
middle. It's like barely, right? Because you was more on the meh side or you was more on the no ma'am side. No ma'am, no ma'am. Like
Okay.
it's a no. Like you know what no ma'am is. And then meh, it's like it's all right. It's it's nothing to like cry home about. So that's kind of
Right.
how we judge the looks. So what do we think about Lexi Love and Mimi Lovely?
So I I know I might be biased because I'm a Lexi Love girly. I would give this a yes, ma'am, just because I like when she wears this silhouette. I was kind of worried that the judges are going to be kind of over it because this is kind of like her usual type of
I was
look.
about to say you mean every silhouette that she wear, like every.
Right. Every silhouette, but it's like it fits her and it works. So I was like wondering if that was going to be part of the judges' critiques. But it's like the fact that they have like the matching, what is that, the corset, and then like the little like ribbing around like the thighs. Mom's booty was poking, like serving body. The headpieces are really cute, even though they're not like exactly similar. I just think that this is a solid, like, yes, ma'am. Just for like the overall aesthetic, glam is there. Love the color of the lip. Love the color of the wig that she chose for her mom, and that darker red, like plum on Lexi, just looks gorgeous. I don't know. I just lived for it, but then again, like I'm a Lexi Love girl.
No, I mean, I thought it was a yes, ma'am, too.
Yeah,
I thought it was, to me, honestly, it was a little simple,
yeah.
right? Like, I would have preferred a little bit more clothes because this is a challenge and bringing out your mom, right? Like, I would prefer that. But it was very on brand for the
I'd
Lexi
bring my
Love. Like,
mama in a thong. I'm sorry, I would.
oh my gosh.
Thong and panties, thong and a bra. That's it. That's all you wearing, girl.
But besides that, I thought everything else, Mimi Lovely looked really lovely. And then Lexi was just so happy to be there. And so I thought that was really great that they had that moment. And it's the Love brand, right? So I thought it was great. Giovanni, what about you?
So y'all are gonna hate me. So the looks are cute. I like the looks. I really like the looks. It is quintessential Lexi Love. She's not breaking the barrier with this. They look good. I just feel like it for me personally, it's not really giving drag family resemblance. Um, like I don't know. I think it comes down to kind of I'm not really seeing it in the makeup, and maybe it's just specifically this picture that's not allowing me to see it, and I don't really quite remember it. But it's also the headpieces. The headpieces don't make sense to me in terms of like everything else does. Like, Mimi has like a pink wig, like say has a red, but like the outfit colors are the opposite, so that makes sense.
Hmm.
Everything else kind of makes sense, but those headpieces don't. Like, why is one hearts and why is one roses? Which I mean, I guess I kind of get. Are those roses? I thought those were hearts. Yeah,
I
but
mean, they
like I
look
think
like
they're too.
dilapidated hearts, so they could be hearts.
I know. I think they might be roses actually. Now that I'm looking at it,
Yeah, I think
Hmm.
those are
I don't know.
roses.
Yeah, I don't know. It just for me, it's the headpieces that kind of ruin it, honestly, and that kind
Okay.
of basically from the head up, I don't like. From the head down, from the neck down, I like.
So what, you gave it a no, ma'am?
No, it's not a no, ma'am. I think it's like very soft, ma'am. Like very like almost a yes, ma'am. I think if the headpieces were different, I would have really enjoyed this.
I do agree
Okay.
with you though. I do wish that the headpieces were more similar, and
Like
I
more
think it would
cohesive.
have, yeah, more cohesive, and that would
Yeah,
have gotten us a point for family resemblance. Because,
yeah,
Will, your point is, I wrote down in my notes, like, what exactly do y'all want from us when it comes to family resemblance? If you want the show to be the challenge to be twins, call it twins. Don't say family resemblance, because then Michelle is like, yeah, it's giving like distant cousins and like going into
Yeah.
these other descriptors, and it's like, girl, I
Yep.
don't really feel like the lines are very clear here. Like, I personally feel like, okay, if you're talking about family resemblance, there is resemblance besides the headpieces. If you want
Yeah.
twins, say twins. Then, like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's true.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if you watched All Stars 9, Roxy Andrews made a point of saying this. She said, what the other teams are not going to do, the other teams are not going to make sure they look alike. And Roxy said, we're going to make sure we all three of us, right? So the firefighter who was the dad, right? And then Vanjie, they all looked alike. They looked like three different, like, they all looked like sisters, like three generations of different, like, of the sisters, but they all looked alike. And
Yeah,
that's
I
essentially what they want you to do.
yeah. My thing with this challenge and kind of a reason why I kind of dislike it, honestly, is I feel like they use this challenge to kind of judge however they want to. And every season it's
Hmm.
just kind of a little different. Like they'll be like, oh, I don't know, the family resemblance isn't really there, but the performance that they did was great. Or like the outfits were great, even though like the makeup was completely different. And in the face, they did not look like family at all. And
Mm-hmm.
I know it can be really difficult to translate your own makeup on somebody else's facial structure. Especially if you're not used to painting other people. So if you're not a makeup artist, it can be very difficult. Like I know I would have problems with that. Um, so I'm not a huge fan of this challenge. Every time it comes around, I'm kind of like, okay, so they're gonna use this to just get rid of whoever they want to get rid of.
Right.
Um, but for me, I've like the thing I kind of care about the most is really like kind of like that makeup. Like is like are they actually gonna come out looking like are they family? Like are they siblings? Are they cousins? Are they parents or whatever it is? I want them to actually look alike, not just on their outfits, but in the face as well.
No, I mean, that's fair point. I think the next group of queens, right, really showcase what that is, right? And so
Yes.
we have Sam Star and Sassy Star. And so what do we think of this pair?
What was the ultimate again?
Ova. It was Ova.
Over. I said that I'm a Lexi girl, but at the end of the day, live down for Sam Star. Like, something about her glam and drag is stunning to me. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She's gonna give you a smoky. She's gonna give you a cut crease. Like, she doesn't go overboard with blush. She doesn't go overboard with contour, and all the wigs that she wears are just so like glamour. It just gives. And this is like so Sam. I like that she kind of went with like her aesthetic, giving country, everything about the golden tits. I mean, ugh. I was trying to figure out like, are those little hats or what? Like,
It's like with the Madonna cone bra. It's giving Madonna. It's country Madonna. But girl,
Yes.
if you're living this much for Sam, you need to go watch season 9, All Stars 4 and All Stars 7. Because you're gonna
Okay.
love her mother. You will love her drag mother. You will love Trinity.
Yes.
Yes.
This is quintessential, like a Trinity the Tuck, like just a thing to do. Like just being able to paint somebody else. Trinity is really great at that. And so it shows that she taught Sam how to paint someone else, right? To the point where like you can still see Sam's makeup
Mhm.
on Sassy. Right, like you can see that they come from the same
Yeah.
family, even though like obviously they're mom and son, right? But you can tell that they're from the same family. But also the outfits were similar yet different. When Sassy gave that reveal, I was like, oh, they won. Like,
Choosing the
hands
no
down.
pants versus pants, I feel like was a great touch. The cute little hats, like
Yep.
it's adorable. It's
Yes.
sweet.
Yes. So normally I'm like, Samantha, you better bitch. Right. That's normally what I would say because I'm a Sam Star stan. But this time, because I have to respect the mom, so I'm gonna say, Sassy, you better go with your bad self. That's what I'm gonna say, okay? You better go with your bad self because Sassy made this episode. This was her episode.
First of
So
all, Sassy's gonna be mad at you because she's sitting here waiting for the you better bitch.
I
She don't
know,
want
I
no.
know. I was like, but it's true because Sam said, listen, my mom is like 60. And she was like, if you 60, put on a thong. When Sam said that, I was like, put it on a t-shirt, Samantha. You got to put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But again, I agree with you, Kristen. This isn't over. I was like, it's over for the girls. Like as soon as they came out, I was like, yes, like this is it.
It's a yes, ma'am, for me. No, it's good. I'm just not a huge fan of the outfits, honestly. Or I think it's just the color of it. Like I'm not a huge fan of this like acid wash denim type of thing
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. I just think it looks a little cheap. Um, and I really loved Sassy's combs, but to me, Sam's look very deflated. I don't know. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't look right. It just doesn't. It
Mm,
looks very
I agree
flat.
with that.
we can see
But
that. Yeah.
overall, they're good looks. It's just
Yeah.
not my favorite. They're good.
Yes.
They're yes, ma'ams.
Yes. I just like that Sassy like upstaged Sam without actually like leaving Sam in the dust. Right? Like there was still moments where you can see that Sam was like, this is my mom. I'm gonna let her have her moment. Right. But this is still my competition. And so I think that's great. Sometimes you put so much energy in making like you the makeover person, like that's the star, and you fail to realize that you're still in the competition. And so we've seen that in previous like, makeover challenges where the actual drag queen is like, oh, in the back. And then the person who they made over is in the front. That doesn't really work for me. So
Mm,
I like that there was a balance between the two.
yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
All right. So next we had Susie Toot and Queenie Toot. I didn't like the name Queenie Toot. I was like, why didn't we not think of something else?
Lazy
But what did
Susan.
we think? What did we think of? It could have been something like,
Oh wait, no,
something
but they just did
with
Lazy Susan last week. No,
yeah.
last season.
I just feel like they could have did something with Susie or like a toot, something. But a Queenie toot, I just didn't get that. But that's just me aside. What do we think about the looks?
I
It's
give this
giving
a
yes.
meh. I give this a meh.
Can I kick her
I do
out?
not agree. Guys, the way
No,
that I did not agree with Law, because I always feel some type of way sometimes when Law comes on, because a lot of opinions that Law has, I'm like, don't agree. And I did not agree. You coming on, and Lexi didn't either. You saying that this is a runway? This
oh
is
no, it was
bad.
not that. It's definitely not runway.
I'm like,
I will agree
girl,
with you on that aspect. It is not runway at all. This is not couture. This is elevated party city. Uh,
right. For Susie, meh.
I so I mean for me it's giving like a yes if I like what's it Steamboat Willie. So I think that's kind of cute. But like for me it's a yes man because I think out of everyone they look the most no they were one of they look a lot they definitely have that family resemblance. Sorry, I'm just like looking at those. I'm like, are they the one that look the most like family? Because you can see like clearly that's Susie's makeup on Queenie. I think the outfits are okay. They're nothing to like write home about. They're a little basic. But I think the makeup is kind of what saves this.
Yeah, I love the glam. The lashes, especially, just make the whole like mug put together and like really pop. And of course, like the contour is like on point, the lip, but and just even like the little detail with like the little hair, the cowlick kind of
Hmm.
sticking out. I like, but other than that, meh.
Yeah. I gave it a soft ma'am because I was torn between yes and meh. It was more so on the meh side of things, so I'm with you with that. Because I just thought it was really safe, right?
It is the
But
same look.
it's
Yeah,
very safe to me. And I expected something more like theatrical and, a referential because this is what Susie has given us. So I expect Queenie too to look more grand. That was just me, my personal opinion. If you're gonna give her name Queenie, then at least make her come out like grand. And she wasn't even wearing heels.
I know. But the one thing I did like about the runway though was like Susie had her little like dance, and then her mom Queenie like trying to do the little dance too was cute. But mm,
Yeah. I mean, but at least she kept her energy level the same throughout the whole entire
right,
episode.
we can
So
give her that A+ on consistency because from when we first saw her to then, same energy.
yes.
They should have named her Boot, like something Boot. Maybe even Susan Boot. Like
Something.
instead, yeah, I don't know. It was
Yes.
just
There was a missed
not,
opportunity for Queenie Toot's name to
yeah.
just be in the family of Susie Toot, but it could have had a little
Tutti
bit more
Frutti.
could have had a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up, we had Jules in Salchicha Sparkles. What do we think of the looks?
This
They looks like they skinned some Muppets backstage and decided to wear that. Um,
I am really disappointed in Jules. Like the way my heart dropped when they came out, I'm not kidding. I felt it in the pit of my stomach. I said, Jules, this is not the level I expect from
at
you at
that
all. I just felt like this is not my Jules. This is not my Jules. The competition must have got to my girl because I would never in a million years expect her to come out with something like this. I was disappointed. Don't like the hair. Don't like the, like you said, the skinning, the fur, the boots, nothing. I just, it's a meh. Wait, no, less than meh, honestly.
it, no, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am for me.
For me, I will give it a meh. The outfits I hate. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. They're not ugly, but this is not what I want for makeover. I feel like this is extremely lazy. I get it. Like when you're preparing for the show, you don't know who you're gonna get, so you kind of have to do something that is gonna work on several body types because you never know who you're gonna have to make over. You know there's gonna be a makeover challenge. You don't know who you're gonna get. Um, so I get why she kind of went this route. I still think it's kind of lazy. Um, like they're basically just like oversized hoodies. That's what it is. And like, or you could have done better than that. Like she said, I expected more from Jules, but I did like the hair and makeup.
The
I
makeup is
feel like,
good.
yeah. So that's why for me it's a meh. I think the hair and makeup just slightly saved this a little bit for me. But the outfits, no man.
And I like that. Oh, dang, what was I going to say? I like the nails, the little accent details, the sunglasses, the jewelry, like the touches, made sense for Jules, but
At the end of the day, it's still just like a fucking hoodie.
and I agree with the judges' critiques of like I thought there was gonna be a reveal. I mean, she did the lip sync and then we got a moment up underneath. So like that I feel like that would have made the look it would have taken it up a notch for me if we would have had a reveal at
I
least.
think it would have been cute if like they like ripped it off and maybe underneath they had like a mini dress that was like the opposite colors or something like that. I don't know. I think that maybe would have elevated it a little bit.
Yeah, I hate this for Jules. I hate this for her.
Okay, so I have a controversial take then. This wasn't over for me because I
Girl, go fix your
thoroughly
glasses.
I loved them together on the runway. I loved the looks. I thought the looks was, to me, this was drag family resemblance. Like, I got the family resemblance right away. I got it. I didn't mind that the looks were pedestrian. I thought they really were
It's because you
great.
love pedestrian.
True, I do. If it's done correctly. And I think this was very pedestrian. This was the right of way, if you want to talk about pedestrian.
That
This
is
was
valid. If you're gonna do
the,
pedestrian, this is a good way to do it, and it does
yes.
for the category give
But
family
it but
resemblance.
but it's
And
Drag Race season
and
17
Jules's
edition.
dad was so excited to be there and show up for Jules. That's what made me love the look even more, right? Like, if it's design, no, there was nothing for me to be like, oh my gosh, like this is an amazing design. No, right? It wasn't like Sam Star and Sassy Star. That was a design. Those two looks looked amazing. But this was another example of a great family resemblance from like the drag perspective, because look at them. They look like they are related to each other.
No, yes, I agree in that sense that yes, family resemblance is there again with the hair, the makeup, like they look like family, like it looks like mom and daughter. Um, but the looks are lazy. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zeus. Like I don't like the looks. Yes, the family resemblance is there. I don't like the looks. And I think this is the one you might have been mentioning earlier, when
Mm-hmm.
you were bringing up Plain Jane, and the critique that they gave her was like, "Oh my God, family resemblance." Did she win that challenge? I think she won that challenge, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Yep, yep, because I
and
brought that
that
up.
was,
Hmm.
but that was also a lazy outfit. Sorry, but it was what was it? It was like
They
a
both
latex
had one.
bodysuit.
Yep,
That was it. That was it.
yeah,
Like it was nothing to write home about. Like
and they
it was
actually didn't look
basic.
alike.
I makeup wise, no, no.
No,
Like
not at
that was
all.
a man in a wig, girl. That was a man
Yes.
in a wig.
You know, I think what
Yeah.
would have made this good is if they did the Blair Sinclair and they did that, the little thing at the end. They could have did
Something.
something like that, like when she goes, shh, and she did like it's like burr, and it's like cold, and she's like this. The the
I
iconic
don't
Blair
remember.
Sinclair at the end of the runway moment. Everybody knows that. Watch it back. But anyways, if they would have did that, yes. Or if they would have had a reveal, open the coat, through the coat, did something with the
That
coat, yes. Would have made more theatrics. Yeah, I get that. But you can tell that they just Salchicha really was living her fantasy.
I also don't think the name necessarily fits. Like kind of, but no. Like if you're thinking Jewel Sparkles, like I my immediate like I wouldn't immediately think like Salchicha Sparkles must be her sister. Like obviously the last name, yes. But Salchicha, like sausage,
It
really?
could have
Like
been
what
like jewels, sparkles, and diamonds are forever. Like
something
it
like
could
that,
have,
yes.
yes, right. It could have been something that resembles like jewels, right? Because jewels sparkles is a play on jewels sparkle, right? Like
Yeah.
that's like the whole idea, right? And she's
Yeah.
Spanish, they got to put an extra S on anything, right? Like so, like duh. But
No,
that's
and then
essentially
it
what.
would have it should have been Jules S. Sparkles.
Yes, yes, very much that. So yeah, it could have been like diamonds are forever, or something that has to do with like um jewelry and that stuff. And so I
Or
think
like just
it was
like
a missed
kind of like
opportunity.
glamour, like or
Yeah,
take it the complete opposite and be like, I don't know, something completely dull and like rocks or something. I don't know. But like
yeah.
salchicha just didn't make sense to me. And
I
if
mean,
it was salchicha, they should have just named her salchipapas or some shit like that. Like,
true,
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah. I did
Or
feel a
Ariana
bit
El
disappointed
Grande.
with the name. That
Yeah,
was like, I'm
Uh
like, we could do better than that.
I
yes.
feel
But a name
yes.
that I wasn't disappointed by was this one, Anya Nerves and None Your Business.
None your
That name right,
business.
that name right there, that's branding. That's great. But what do we think of the looks?
I did not love the looks, but like if we're gonna talk about like with Jules's dad, none of your business ate. She ate the
First
runway down.
that face that she has on right there fully gives you like that's I don't see how that's any of your business. Like that's none of your business right there. Like that name and that face go so well together.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny though because she was like walking down the runway and her dad's like kind of neck was hunched a bit, like you could tell he was not comfortable with the heels. But I think of course like with Anya, you're the runway is never going to disappoint with the personality and the
I was about to say,
attitude. She's always going to make up for whatever she's wearing with the
okay,
way that she serves the look.
That part.
And
yeah,
Nunya Business immediately picked up on that, and they both were on the same wavelength with that. So it kind of
Yeah.
made up for this hideous look.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're kind of ugly. They are kind of ugly.
I know
Maybe
you
she.
was not going to redeem this look and say this was a yes, ma'am.
No, absolutely not. No, I was gonna say this
Okay.
no, ma'am.
Okay.
No, but I was
Yeah,
gonna
the
say they're
look is
not
a no ma'am for
hideous.
me.
I was gonna say not hideous, and then I just quickly glanced to Anya. Like she should have worn this for the ugly runway. Like I'm sorry, this dress is nasty. Like I don't get like that. I don't get the cut. No, the cut, the colors. I don't like it.
The way the outfit fit on them, I didn't even really like.
Yeah, no. And I face like I feel like yes, that is Anya's face.
Yes.
Everything else is like I don't know. Like this isn't an outfit that I would necessarily instantly think, oh, that's Anya, or like that's Anya's family right there.
Yeah.
Given
Yeah.
though, like she's not really like I don't know. I, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
This just
mean,
doesn't feel like the Anya brand to me.
Yeah, and
it
my first
doesn't.
thought was, what made her choose this? Like, what made her go with this aesthetic? I was
Yeah.
really confused, and it just, like you said, it doesn't give Anya. So I don't even know what about this even appealed to her.
Yeah. It went the real campy route, which is kind of different from what, even though Anya is a campy queen, but this went far out, like to the camp side of like the world. And I was like, this is different. Like I haven't seen this side of Anya Nerve yet. And so I was
No.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have really loved if she had like, cause my favorite Anya looks so far this season have been when she goes kind of like really urban and really like streetwear. So I would have loved to see something like that, like maybe come out in like denim or something like that. I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
This again just doesn't feel like the Anya brand to me.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have
They
been
both could
so
have came out
good.
as Around the Way girls.
Yes,
Not that
Nunya would
like
have
very
ate
like
that.
they could have come out walking like Monet Exchange like with their ass
Right.
all out like that would have
Literally.
been yeah
Would have
amazing.
been
But
good. Like really lean into that urban of it all. Like really lean into it. I thought it was good because they did that at the end, right? They did the color purple, like like what was that? Can clap thing. They did that, right? So like they had, there were some elements in which they were leaning into that urban culture, in which I was like, oh, lean into this. He did like like with the attitude, like yes. So he was channeling being a fierce bitch, but I just wanted to see that with the looks. So.
Yeah, but
Uh,
overall, the face is good. It gives Anya like signature look. So, and that's what stands out a lot.
yeah.
But everything else, and it's like, love you, Anya, down. Love you so
Yeah.
much. So it's just it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah. All
yeah,
right. So, out of all the looks, who had your favorite look? What's your favorite pair?
Man, it's hard because I really, really love Lexi's look, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Sam. Sam
I
and her
agree.
mom.
I agree.
Sam and
Sam
her mom
and
because
Sassy Star.
yeah, when it comes down to it, if you're looking at family resemblance, the overall look, kind of performance of it, and the way they presented it on stage, I think they overall did the best.
Yep, I agree. All right. So, based on the judges' critiques, we have Susie Toot and Sam Star are in the top, and Lexi Love, Jules Sparkles, and Anya Nerve are in the bottom, despite Laura Roach flirting with Anya Nerve's dad, which made for an amazing television moment, by the way, because he was like, yeah, daddy, fine outside of drag.
And she was like, he just tried drag for the first time. What else you willing to try for the first time? I was like,
Like,
first of all, he been in prison like 5 times. You know damn well that ain't no damn first time, girl. Um,
no, but he said, Anya's dad said it's not the first time that men have said that I'm attractive. He said it.
oh yeah, no, but I'm saying it's not the first. It wouldn't be the first time girl, prison 5 times.
No, I don't think
He's dabbled and dabbled.
I don't think so. I
Mm,
don't think everybody who's gone to prison has done that. I don't think so. I don't know. That's a
I
controversy
thought
take.
about that too. I was like, I don't know. Did he?
I mean,
prison five times.
he could just be really comfortable with his sexuality.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he isn't, but like when when the
Well, I did
itch.
hear. I mean, this is, and it could be a topic for a different episode. But I did hear that prison gay is different from like
It's that exactly that.
outside of
Like
prison.
when
So
when
yes,
when when you gotta scratch the itch, like any hole in the
yes,
bone, like let's
I
go.
did hear that. So it is possible. You never know. I mean, prison 5 times. We don't know. We don't know how long the the stints were, right? Like
If
we
they
don't
could
know.
they could put me in there with him for a sixth time. Like I wouldn't mind that.
But it is so funny that you're saying that because everyone at the bar literally was like, "Oh my gosh, like Anya's dad is so hot."
Yeah.
But
He can be all up in my business. Like I don't care.
oh my god, no, that's no. Anyways, but we found out that Samstar is the winner of the challenge, and that Jules and Anya are in the bottom two. Do we agree?
Yes.
I mm, mm, I
I honestly don't
guess.
think that. I honestly didn't think
I
that we
don't know.
needed the bottom two. I would have just preferred a top two lip sync for the win.
I mean,
I would have
if
preferred that too.
honestly, if they were, I mean, if they were gonna say both of them, yeah, just give us the top two.
Yeah,
Make them fight for it.
we could have saw a Samstar and a Susie Toot lip sync.
Never mind. Never mind. I don't want that.
Especially not to this song.
No,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh, that would have
Exactly.
been so bad. But
Yeah.
Jules and Anya, they lip sync to One Thing by A. Marie. So now, honestly, I need your honest opinions. What did we think of this lip sync?
I was
I
surprised by the song choice. I was like, okay, but I feel like that the lip sync, I when I was watching it, I just kept thinking like, okay, are we gonna have like a bigger, like boom type of moment with Anya? And I feel like she didn't really give it. Like she kind of just had like mostly the same stance throughout the whole song. And of course she's gonna, give with like the facials and like the looks and all of that. But I just really wanted more. And I think Jules kind of just gave what I expected. Like she's gonna dip, she's gonna twist. Like it was cute, but I just really, really wanted Anya to like push it a little bit more.
I think this was Jewel's revenge for Trimgate, and she was like, "Bitch, I can finally I can finally get my comeuppance." And she dragged her. I think Jules won this fair and square. Uh, like the actual lip sync. I think Jules won it.
Yeah, and I was sad about that. As much as I love Jules, I'm like, Anya, like, come on, what's going on?
You know, can we? I think we need to have this discussion because can we talk about how Jules is probably the drag queen who had the one of the most cleanest reveals thus far in every single
It's
lip sync that she has had. I cannot see where another wig is coming from. I don't know where it started to where it's going to finish. And this is the second time she's done that because I didn't know that there was going to be a reveal underneath that coat and how quickly she did that.
we all knew there was going to be a reveal. The wig reveal though, that was different. There
Yeah,
being
Like
a
I
reveal
didn't.
under the coat though, everybody knew it was coming, girl. It's a
Well,
cover.
I'm saying like in terms of like the whole entire thing, where like I didn't see that come in, and she did it the first time in the talent show, where I was like, where that other wig come from, right? So
That.
shout out to that. But speaking of the wig, did anybody else see that her wig almost came off
Yeah.
when
So
she?
when she like that shit went a blah. But
and what
that
was
shit
that
with
that
the
Anya kicked? Did she kick something?
Yeah, she kicked the pink wig.
Oh yes,
She
okay.
kicked that, and she like punted it. She didn't even kick it. She punted it
yeah.
like a football player.
But see, this is like especially this season where so many wigs have fallen. They need to be taking notes from Jules because like that wig, like you said, was literally about to come off, and it was either a couple bobby pins or maybe even just the lace glue that saved her ass from it coming off. And this is what other queens need to take notes on. Like,
Hmm.
why is your wig falling off when you're barely doing anything? Like, no,
Listen,
like this girl was like fully like
she
serving
was.
choreography and it, like yes it loosened but it did not pop off like Corey and his crunchy split.
I was gonna say it just brings the Corey gate, Corey Wigate is traumatizing.
Lana, Lana,
uh
you know,
they
I'm
need to
just
learn how
saying.
to keep their wigs on.
But in terms of this lip sync, one thing by A. Marie, that's a bop. We can't
Yes.
deny that that's a bop. But I, even though Jules won this lip sync, neither one of them did it for me.
Yeah, I felt like something was a bit lacking from both.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the best lip sync. I don't think it's the worst one. Yes,
It just wasn't as
I think the
clean
song
as I
needed more.
expected from Jules.
Yeah, but like the girl was frazzled. Like, come on, you're going up against the front runner. Your
Right.
second time in the bottom. Like at that point, I'm sure she thought she was going home, and she's like, I gotta do whatever I gotta do to
Absolutely.
take
Yeah.
myself out of this hole. Because
Yeah. No, true.
I'm so sure that at that moment she thought her fate was sealed.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you're doing this in front of your dad, right? Like, and you don't want your dad to feel like he let you down. And so you're in this position because, right, like you
Yeah.
couldn't like make that. So yes, that's why I can see it because she was normally like she had that one nice clean split that she did at the right moments. But then after that, it kind of got a little messy. And so I was like, okay, so you could see that she's just throwing everything in the kitchen sink because we all knew that Anya, there was no way that Jules was going to send Anya home in any instance because Anya has 4 wins.
I
And this is her
mean,
first time in the bottom.
the only instance I could see her going home is if she like drastically fucked that lip sync up. Like I'm talking like Valentina, like Mirage level fuck up.
Oh,
Uh
didn't know the words. Yeah.
didn't know the words, wig falling off, shoes coming off, like that kind of like who was that? Mo Hart kind of level fuck up too. I could see
a
Anya going
Lydia
home in that
butthole
instance.
moment.
Lydia
Oh,
Butthole, I forgot about that girl. Oh, thank you. Yes,
yeah.
like in that instance, yes, I can see Anya going home. Um, but again, like I think this would be the first time in Drag Race history, or like main Drag Race, because they've done it in other franchises, of them sending a girl with 4 wins home before the finale. If they had done it, I
Yeah, I
think.
don't think they've done it. I honestly don't. I I mean, that would be amazing television. That would win the Emmy. Like,
Yeah. Girl,
like
what? You just
that would what?
yeah.
That would win the Emmy. I think the only time they've done that was Shea. I think the closest they've gotten was Shea Coulee in the finale, right? Like being
But
like the first round because she was eliminated in the first round, not even the second round.
yeah, but that was already at the live finale. Like I feel like that's kind of
Correct,
different. Like
but
they
she had
haven't
four
been.
wins. Like she
Yeah.
was the front runner of the season. So
Well, maybe we shouldn't be spoiling it for her if she hasn't seen it yet.
I like to
Oops.
hear all of the opinions. I don't
Go
care
watch
oh
what
season
okay,
9.
spoilers.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, go watch season 9 because that was the reveal of all reveals, according to Jhoany. Not to me, but he
It
loves that reveal.
is.
Yeah.
It is. That
But it did
reveal.
change the game as to like bringing
Yes.
reveals to a Drag Race finale. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sasha Velour did.
And
But
it
yes,
also changed the game in terms of like it no longer became who was the best of the best in the season. It was like get your ass to the finale and win the
and
finale.
when that's
That's it.
true,
That's all you need to
to
do. Survive all the way to the top four and just beat all those bitches at the end. That's all you need to do.
And that's
did change
valid.
the game.
But
Yeah,
this lip sync specifically had me shaking in my boots just a little bit because I really did not want to see Anya Nerve go home. And I'm really not ready to, let go of Jules at the same time. But it made me nervous because, like we said, it was kind of mid from both of them. So
yeah,
when we got the double shot, I'm like, you know what? I can
Thank the
work with
yeah.
Lord.
that.
Yeah. I just didn't, I was a little disappointed in Anya because I didn't want her to go so campy. To me, I just thought that to me just took me out of the essence of that A Marie song. And I was like, wait, I don't equate campy with one thing by A Marie. Like that doesn't go together with me. But I mean, I would expect a little bucking, not super crazy, but at least a little bucking, some splits,
Yeah, she didn't
some
give us any
like
of that. And then, like you
she
said, if she was
didn't.
wearing something denim or went a different direction with the outfit, this would have made
Hmm.
the lip sync turn up even more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay. All right. So, I mean, that was episode 13. So I'll ask this. Who is winning season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race?
I want to see what
Honestly,
Kristen says.
I know, same. The
I
anticipation.
I have to give it to Anya Nerve.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. So
But
so who will be second? Who will be the runner up?
I think this just solidified Jules as the runner-up.
I think that Sam Star
I
is gives runner
so
up.
Yes and no. Yes, in terms of like the way the season has turned out, but the fact that they just saved Jules makes me feel like they're saving her for something bigger. Uh, so for me, I feel like this kind of cemented Jules as the runner-up. Like we didn't let you go home, and like there's a reason for it, and I feel like she's gonna maybe kill the next episode, and then like kill them in the finale, and then end up as the runner-up.
She does have runner up potential. I
Yeah,
mean, I think if Anya wasn't here, she would have winner potential, in my opinion.
I think they all have winner potential except mm, Lexi.
I agree. And I hate to say that. I love
No, yeah,
Lexi,
no, I
but
agree with you. Like, if you go back to our earlier episodes for the season, like I was a Lexi stand the house down. Like I was like, that bitch is gonna
yeah.
win the crown. But as the season progressed, I'm like, I think she needs a little more time to kind of mature emotionally and really figure out um how to succeed on her own without kind of relying on other people or like letting other people get her down before she can really call herself a winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like the fact that she lets all these other queens get to her when they're doing literally absolutely nothing, to her is kind of the reason why she should not get the crown this time around. But I can see her coming back for an All Stars and absolutely demolishing the girls once she has
I
her shit
want
figured out.
Lexi to get therapy. Like, I want her, I want the best for her. I want her mental health to get better. And that's all I can think about is like, girl, my girl needed some better help or something, before this. And I think that this is just only
Yeah.
heightening her demons. And she's like,
And
dang,
I,
I'm realizing how messed up I am these past couple
yeah,
weeks.
yeah, that and like I know she's kind of been the queen that's been the most vocal about like the Nepo queens and the Nepo babies and whatnot. But I think it also shows the kind of dynamic that comes with having those big drag families. Like maybe if she had that back home, like a really supporting drag mother, like the way that Jules and Sam do, maybe she could have come a little bit more prepared and a little bit more emotionally prepared, or a little bit more, I don't know, I guess trained than she kind of came. Or at least she would have known how to deal with her emotions better, maybe. I don't know. But I feel like it's kind of uh like you said, I think she kind of needs maybe a little bit of therapy or a little bit more of a support system to help her figure out her stuff, so
Yeah,
that
because
she can come
Anya
back
Nerve doesn't
and
have that. And she doesn't go around every week being like, Nebos, you
that
know?
that yeah, I
Like,
think
she's like, I'm going to
it
grind it out.
yeah, I think it just comes back to kind of what she said this episode on her insecurities and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I agree. I agree with both of you guys. I think Anya is a shoe-in to win. Hopefully, this is not another Saphira Cristal moment where
or
it was
Shea Coulee.
Saphira's or Shea Coulee. Hopefully, it's not, where they were pretty much the shoe-ins to win that season and did not. And it came to the finale lip sync and they didn't go there to, that route. But I do see it for
Robbed
Anya Nerve.
Saphira.
Um, I mean, yes. Or Samstar, right? I can see those two. Those are like my
Oh,
favorites to win. Um,
oh, it's raining up in here.
I know it's
Oh,
raining. Yes, I
did you
can
see the
see.
lightning bolt? I was like,
Yes,
oh, that
I
looked like
can.
right outside my window.
Anya
Uh,
or Sam. I wouldn't be disappointed if those two win. Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't be disappointed if any of the five that's still there. They all have a chance to win.
that's a
So
lie. That's a lie. You would be so disappointed if Susie won.
I would be disappointed if Susie won. I
Stop
would
lying, you fucking
actually.
bitch.
Yes, 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 yes,
I
yes.
would too.
I,
I'm not even going to lie.
I was trying to be very Alaska in the situation, but apparently
Listen,
Willem
Willem's gonna
Hanks.
call it out.
Yes. But
uh,
all right. I mean, that's the end of our recap episode. And so, Kristen, it was so nice. Oh no, before we get to recap, I knew it was something before I wanted to wrap it up. Is this. I talked about this in the beginning. Right. Here are the two looks in which we have the same kind of, well, essentially would be the same judging, but they would judge in two different ways. Because we had Plain Jane and Lazy Susan, and then we have obviously Salchicha and Jules, but they are both very pedestrian looks. So why did Plain win and Jules was in the bottom?
that's why I told you, like, or like what I said in the beginning, where it's like, or not in the beginning, but earlier, like, I feel like they use this challenge as a way to judge however they want to judge. They change the critiques up every season, and they just use it as a way to get rid of whoever they don't want to see in the finale.
True.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the way that these two looks were critiqued were very different, like you said. But I think it just comes down to one is both pedestrian, like you said, but one just is slightly better than the other.
Mm,
I
I
mean,
can
at
see that.
least, and so the makeup is the same in terms of Plain Jane and Lazy Susan. I think the reason why it doesn't look the same is just because they have such different facial structures.
Yeah,
Like Lazy Susan needed more makeup. I'm sorry, but that's a man. Like
yeah,
that cover
yeah.
girl don't cover boy. Like she needed way more makeup on. But I think these are both very pedestrian. Should have been judged the same. Both of them no ma'ams. But it is what it is.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously that's what I wanted to end with. Now I can actually give my closing. So yes. So Kristen, thanks for joining us on today's episode. It was so much fun to kiki with you. Um, obviously we put her podcast Instagram account there. So please make sure y'all go follow Kristen's podcast, listen to her podcast, watch her YouTube channel, subscribe to her YouTube channel. Trust us, it is a really good one. No, ma'am, we've subscribed to the YouTube channel. So if we can do it, you can too. And
Yes.
any such all the subscriptions, we need them. Just bring them on. Just feed it to us. Feed it. Yes. But if you enjoyed the laughs, if you enjoyed the shade, if we had you saying no, ma'am, maybe even an over, potentially, maybe. I'm just hoping you said it over in there for one of these looks, just maybe a little bit.
I don't know more worth than
Um,
Nova.
but make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at No Man the Podcast. And if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, make sure you rate us 5 stars. And as always, we'll have you sing No Ma'am in no time. Bye.